9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Well, hello there, everybody. Welcome to Freethought in Florida. Freethought in Florida is a production of the atheist community of Polk County. I'm Sarah Ray. I'm your host for tonight. Joining me tonight, Allie Ashmead. Allie, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Hanging in there. You know? It's all we can do right now.
This shit is bananas.
Oh, it is. Today is Friday, the 3rd of September, 2021. Can't believe this year's almost over. I saw somebody posted a meme the other day, or just maybe it was today, that basically it was like 2019, close your eyes, 2021. And legit, like, that's how it happened. Yeah. Like, I don't know where 2020 went.
Well, 2020 seemed to last forever, and then it was gone.
Mm-hmm.
And then now 2021 has flown by. Like yesterday seemed like Christmas, and then now it's almost Christmas again.
God, this is crazy. Well, anyway, thanks everybody for tuning in. We want to thank our wonderful patrons at patreon.com/polkatheists. Julian Conrad, Alice, Devin, Norma, Virgil's Cardboard Box, Russell, Freethinker215, Todd, and Alan. Y'all are just the best people in the world and help keep us going. So thank you so much. If you want to be like those folks and make a monthly pledge to support the show and get bonus content, extras, and fun stuff, you can do that too at patreon.com/polkatheists. And of course, you can always rate, review the show on Apple, Google Podcasts, wherever you listen to the show. Click the like and subscribe and hit the bell and YouTube and do all those things. And all of that is wonderful and helps us a lot. So thank you.
Thank you, Patreons.
The horn. I love it. Oh my God. Everything is bad right now, Allie. I don't even know where to start.
The world is burning. Florida's burning. Texas is burning.
Everything's bad. So, and I should mention too, Devin may be popping on here in a little bit to join us after she takes care of the kiddos. So hopefully we'll get to have her jump into this. She made good on a crafting project. I'll have to see if I can get that photo ready to load into the thing. She made good on a crafting project that we came up with together.
Oh, sweet.
And I think everybody's gonna love that. So let's start with COVID-19 because we've been I don't know. I'm not ready to talk about all this abortion not banned nonsense garbage. So let's start with the COVID updates. So here in Florida, we have had a great big back and forth between our idiot governor and the school districts, right? So he passed a mandate that said you can't ban or you can't require masks in public schools, which is really stupid.
And if you do,
if you do, we're going to take your money.
Take away your funding or whatever.
Now, I guess there was a deadline that is this week or was last week to when they said like, hey, you have to get all of this taken care of or we're going to pull your money away. Then apparently a judge got involved. A Leon County judge issued a written ruling curbing Ron DeSantis' mask mandate ban. And in it, he prohibits the DeSantis administration from enforcing the governor's executive order. Attorneys for DeSantis immediately asked for a First District Court of Appeal to overturn Judge John Cooper's ruling. This is the kind of stuff that, like, there's just so many moving pieces, and it all seems like it happens so fast, and it's hard to keep track of. So you can't force kids to wear masks. Now you can force kids to wear masks, but only this is temporary until, potential appeal. This This order, submitted Thursday, is the written version of an oral decision Cooper issued on Friday. Despite the prior oral decision, the state had continued enforcing rules against school districts that required masks for students without allowing parents to opt out. Now, some of them were like getting away, like trying to work around it by being like, oh, masks are required, but you can come in and like sign a form to opt your kid out. So they were trying, some school districts tried to get around it that way. The state said it was waiting for the written order. If the defendants strictly enforce the executive order, the Department of Health rule, or any other policy prohibiting mask mandates without a parental opt-out, then they're acting without authority and refusing to comply with all provisions of the law, Judge Cooper wrote, referring to the Parents' Bill of Rights. Now, the Parents' Bill of Rights, you should recall, if you're at any length term listener to this show, is that garbage bill that we screamed about all session this year, but which not nearly enough people paid attention to. And then now it goes into effect and they're like, what Parents' Bill of Rights? I didn't know anything about that. But that's the bill that that DeSantis is using to do this mask mandate ban, saying that basically that parents have this ownership right over their children and can, do whatever they want to with them, and even if that puts them in harm's way, which is crazy because we have like policies and laws and whole departments dedicated to taking your kids away if you don't do the right thing for them. If you harm your kids, we take them away from you. But not if it falls underneath under this Parents' Bill of Rights, apparently. Cooper said the state ignored the full Parents' Bill of Rights intent. The mask mandate ban preemptively prohibits mask requirements without allowing school districts to prove the measures are reasonable, a step he said that the bill required. Are we seriously still talking about whether masks are reasonable or not?
We're almost 2 years. Oh, yeah. A year and 9 months into this, and I think we stopped counting how many people have died. And then I just read somewhere that child hospitalizations in Florida, 68 a day. And I don't remember the actual number so far that we've got of kids that have contracted COVID since the beginning of school.
Right. But then you play devil's advocate, right? Or idiot's advocate, I guess, in this case. What the crazy mask holes would say to that is, well, yeah, hospitalizations. What about deaths? We're not seeing as many deaths. Actually.
Oh, okay.
Actually. Sky says, so sick of people saying you are living in fear about a deadly virus, but they're scared of a damn mask. Yeah, I really just don't. I wish I understood the intent of these people a little bit better. Whether it's really just this dug my heels in and I'm right and nobody can tell me different. Who cares? Wear a mask. What's the big deal? Just wear the stupid mask. Like, who cares?
Yeah, I don't want to see those people wearing a seatbelt, because that's also a law. What about my freedoms? Then when you're driving a car,
I remember reading an article that there was a very loud anti-seatbelt movement when seatbelts were first, required. But to that point, they're required by law that you wear a seatbelt for your own safety and the safety of all the people in the vehicle. Yeah. So I don't see how this is any different.
It's not. I really don't understand the outrage of why do they feel oppressed because we're asking them to cover up their fucking mouth. I mean, come on.
Right?
Cover your fucking mouth, which is something you do when you're sick anyway.
It's not like we're saying we don't want to see your face. Just cover that up.
Right.
We feel that way, but it's not what we're saying.
Right. Right.
Ugh.
First thing when you're sick and you're coughing or whatever, what are you told is when you're a child? Cover your mouth.
Yep.
Don't spread germs.
Yep.
Why is this so fucking hard?
I think we should see more mask wearing from here forward. Uh, Ever since I was a kid, um, at least once a year. Now it happened back home. It happened like with the season change. I would get sick, and I would be like laid up on the couch, sicker than a dog for a week. Drinking lots of liquids and eating lots of soup, and it happened all the time. This past year, and it happened once we moved down to Florida. Like that still happened, but not nearly as clockwork because, as you know, we only have swamp ass season and hurricane season, which are basically the same. So we don't have seasons, but I still would get sick once a year, pretty bad, and be out of work for like a week. This past year and a half, not a sniffle, not a cold, not a nothing. Now,
gosh, I wonder why.
all of my calling out of work illnesses have been mental over the past year and a half. But yeah, I've been wearing a mask everywhere we go, and so I'm not getting any of those germs either.
And washing your hands.
Yes.
And then also businesses are doing a little bit more to keep things cleaner.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, is that all going to go by the wayside once this is over? They're just going to, stop cleaning the bathrooms and stop cleaning the carts, like grocery carts and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Probably. Yeah. Let's see. What else is interesting in this one? In the time between Cooper's oral decision and the written ruling, the DOE announced it had started withholding funds from school districts that violated the mask mandate ban. And Wednesday afternoon, Attorney General Ashley Moody advised the Suwannee County School District that the mandate ban is still the law. Quote, "The judiciary has not declared the rule to be invalid, and as such, the advisory opinion clearly states that multiple school districts are breaking the law by violating parents' rights." Education Department spokesman Jared Oakes said in a statement Wednesday, "Today, the department is urging every school district that has mandated masks without an opt-out to promptly change its policies and comply with Florida's rules and laws." What's infuriating to me, I think, maybe more than anything, is like, we're talking about kids here. Like, at the end of the day, we're talking about kids. A teacher friends of ours, I just saw on social media today that both of their kids now have COVID because they had to go back to school.
Mm-hmm.
Mom and dad are both teachers.
No
so
mask.
Everybody had to go back to school.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, our school district is not one of the districts that was like, screw you, we're going to mandate masks. Our school district was thumbs up their butt like, well, the governor said we can't do it. Yeah, so these kids get COVID, and now the what the hell? Like, I do not want to hear bad news from any more of my friends. I really don't. Yeah. I'm done.
Me either.
I'm done. I don't want to hear any more. I want to take these kids and keep them safe. And your liberties can go to hell for a little while, because protecting these kids is more important than your right to go, strap guns to your chest and wander around without a mask on like you're some kind of fucking G.I. Joe superhero or something. I don't know. It's so frustrating. That followed a statement from Education Commissioner Richard Corker on Monday when the department announced it had withheld funds from Alachua and Broward County school districts the week before. However, Cooper made it clear that he ordered the Education Department to stop enforcing a blanket ban on mask mandates or attempting to enforce DeSantis' executive order and the policies it caused to be generated and any resulting policy or action which violates the Parents' Bill of Rights. So just stop. Alachua and Broward were the first of now 12 districts covering a majority of Florida's public school students to go against DeSantis' executive order. Most of those in that original batch came out of like the Miami area.
Hmm.
Volusia County School
Miami.
District would be the 13th when it begins its mask mandate on September 7th. More than half of Florida's 2.8 million students are covered by a mask mandate with no opt-out.
Good.
Our schools are in the other half. And that's why we took our kids out of school this year.
I don't blame you.
Like, and what guts me about that is, like, I'm thankful that we have the privilege to be able to do that. Like, that I make enough money at my job that Becca can be here with the kids and not have to worry about, like, oh, how do we get to work and manage kids doing school from home and all of the other things that come along with that.
Yeah.
This is a very privileged position that I understand that we're in. And I wish that we weren't in this position. I really just wish we weren't.
Wish you didn't have to make that decision in the first
Yeah.
place.
Yep.
But
Yep.
yeah.
And I wish nobody, like, oh,
This
again.
is a life. This can be a life or death for your child. I mean,
Yes.
granted, I did read that children do get less are less not as affected as adults,
Right.
but some of them can die, and some of them have died.
Yes.
and,
Many.
and unnecessary.
And
Like
we
2
don't know,
children.
like, the long COVID in kids, like how that's going to affect their. So here's the thing.
Exactly.
I feel like Becca may have told this story on a Patreon thing, but like both of our kids, age 3 or younger, I think. Anyway, both of our kids were hospitalized at a very, very young age for respiratory issues.
Mm-hmm.
And were like on oxygen and had their nose sucked out with that god awful thing that they shove up in there and suction out your sinuses.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't ever want to have to live through that ever again. I don't
Yeah.
ever want to see my kid struggle to breathe
Yeah.
ever again. And I don't want that for you and your kid either. How
Yeah.
hard is that? Like, that's just a simple humanitarian, like, care for each other stuff.
Give a shit
Oh, it's
about
so-
somebody else.
So maddening. Well, in the meantime, what's been happening is all of these anti-mask parents have been showing up to these school board meetings in huge numbers, rattling their swords and beating their chests and talking about the science that they learned on the internet. And like, I just can't even watch our school board meetings. I can't. First of all, they go real long now, obviously, because you got all this public comment and all these people showing up. And these people that show up, some of them a bunch of them don't have kids at all. Some of them aren't even from this county. Like, they're not
Right.
even in this district. Like, you get all
Why
kinds
would
of
they
people.
even be allowed to talk? Is it so anybody can just show up?
Apparently. Yep.
Hmm.
Now, most places, I believe, I don't want to say most because I don't know, but I know for sure, like, for like city meetings, you are generally asked to state your name, your address, and then you can address the, Sarah, I live at 123 Main Street or whatever. And that kind of gives everybody an idea of, like, whether, all right, why are you here speaking before the city if you don't live in the city, or if you don't,
Mhm. You don't have kids.
right,
like,
you don't have kids
what
in the school district, or maybe you own a business, or I don't know, whatever. So anyway, some places do that, yes, but not all. And it's insane that these people show up, particularly when they don't have an interest in the decisions being made. And
No.
And I'm torn a little bit because I am a big advocate for public education, right? I'm one of these people that says, look, whether you got kids or not, we all pay into the system, and there's a reason for that. We all have a vested interest in the success of public education because that creates, at least it should, it doesn't in Florida, it creates intelligent citizens that go out into the world and are
Build
our
our
next
futures,
leaders. Yeah. We want a smart, well-educated bunch of kids coming out of our schools. And
Yeah.
and whether you have kids or not, that's a thing we all should want.
Right. Agree.
So on one hand, I do think we all have a vested interest in public education, whether you have kids in the school or not. But when it comes to like specific policy things like this, sit down.
That would be like me showing up to a school board meeting when I don't have any little ones in school. I have an opinion and I care, but I'm not going to go to a school board meeting and tell them what they should do, because I don't have a immediate vested interest
Right.
in it. So yeah, like you said, sit down.
Yeah, just sit down. Go be angry on your blog or whatever.
Go on Facebook and
exactly. So this story comes to us from our friend Hemant over at the Friendly Atheist. Another conservative Christian mother, another insane rant at a school board meeting arguing that students should be allowed to spread and infect people with COVID because face masks are a form of persecution. This is from Lee County, Florida.
What the fuck?
So let's see what our nurse, she calls herself now.
There's a video?
There's a video, yes.
Oh no.
My name is Melissa. I have 2 daughters in the school system. These are demonic entities, and we need to stick together.
Unfortunately, I
Remember,
can't hear it.
we have authority in Christ Jesus. These are demonic entities in all the school boards of all the United States of America, and all of us Christians will be sticking together to take them all out. All the police officers that kick us out for our First Amendment right will also be going down with them. Do you understand? I'm a nurse, infectious disease, 13 years. Masks don't work. These doctors that sit up here that were sneering at us and looking at us like we're scumbags, they need to go back to fucking medical school.
Ma'am, you're out of order. Please. This is your last warning.
Turn my mic on.
Communications.
They need to remember, natural immunity is best. You are all demonic entities. You are going to be taken down.
Me, ma'am.
The
You've
Lord
already had your first warning, and this is your last. She cannot speak anymore. The following individuals, please line up.
Well, I'm sorry you couldn't hear that.
Yeah, all it was a lot of pointing, but yeah, it was. Was she escorted away?
She was. She says, "My name is Melissa. I have 2 daughters in the school system. These are demonic entities, and we need to stick together. Remember, we have authority in Christ Jesus. These are demonic entities in all the school boards in all the United States of America, and all of us Christians will be sticking together to take them all out. All the police officers that take us out for our First Amendment right will also be going down with them. Do you understand? I'm a nurse, infectious disease, 13 years. Masks don't work. These doctors that sit up here sneering at us like we're scumbags, they need to go back to fucking medical school." And it was at that point that they were like, "Ma'am, you're out of order. We don't talk like that at the school board meeting." So they shut her mic off, brought it back on, as she was still screaming and screeching. "You need to remember, natural immunity is best. You are all demonic entities. You're going to be taken down." And that's when they pulled the trigger and made her leave. Hemant points out, we don't really know much about this woman. Like, don't necessarily confuse "I'm a nurse" with registered nurse, because there's differences there. And how wrong she is about all the things. Masks work. We know this. This is demonstrable. Not demonic, by the way. There's no demons. That's not a thing. That's not a real thing. Why is everything demonic?
When they don't understand it, it's demonic. And she's saying that not to listen to doctors.
Right.
And yet she's talking about demons. Whatever.
She's talking about all these doctors sitting up here like sneering at us. They need to go back to medical school. If you go back to medical school, you know what they're going to tell you? They're going to tell you masks are effective at curbing the spread of infectious disease, you dipshit. Oh my God. This is more common than I think we all like to admit.
Yeah.
I I
I
really
don't
believe
even
it.
doubt it. I think this she is not unlike anybody on the street who's talking about masks. They think because like you said they read something on the internet and now they're an expert
Mm-hmm.
and but then I've seen like all this weekend, the last week, some of these anti-maskers, anti-vaxxers even dying
Mm-hmm.
and from and dying on a ventilator or whatever, leaving their families and
Yeah.
there's GoFundMe pages for their families and their wives and the children they left behind. And their wives are saying, I wish we should have listened.
Yeah. Yeah. Isn't that shocking? All of these people that were like, oh, it's not real, it's a hoax. Joe Rogan, for crying out loud, just
Well,
got COVID. Like
yeah.
all of these people that have been banging that drum of COVID's this, it's fake, it's not real, it's just a flu, whatever. And then when you end up in the hospital, and these ICU nurses talking about like, as I'm getting ready to shove a vent down them, begging for the vaccine. It's too late for that.
Too late, bitch.
Too late.
I mean, it's sadly why does it? I mean, it shouldn't have had to come to that, but
No.
it does for some people.
Yeah.
And I don't know that seeing people who follow those people, I'm not sure if that's even enough to change their mind. I don't know.
I don't know. I hate that it takes that for some people to change their mind. I hate that it comes to that. Like we talk a lot about that empathy and compassion and being able to, care about an issue even though it doesn't affect you. And that there's like biological reality in the human species that some of us are good at that and others are just not. That others, it has to touch them close to their circle before they care about it, before it's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
That's just how we're made. But there's got to be some way to get around that somehow and reach out to some of these people, because if again, like my humanism being challenged, you didn't believe in it and you got it. Sucks to be you, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I wish I wish they wouldn't die, but at the same time, it's their own fault.
What's it going to take for you?
It could have been prevented.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't want you to die. I don't want you to get horribly sick either. But also, like, this is a thing that doesn't just affect you, right? That's the argument that people make about seatbelts. Well, if I drive without a seatbelt and I get into an accident and I die, that was just me. Everybody else can wear their seatbelts if they want to, and my not wearing a seatbelt didn't hurt anybody but me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, maybe, but this is not that. This is like your decision to not wear a mask affects literally everyone around you and everyone you come in contact with. Your
family, especially.
Mm-hmm.
You could kill your own family. Like,
yep.
Yeah.
It's a shame that we have found ourselves in a position where, like, parents are saying to their parents, you can't come see the grandkids because you refused to get a vaccine and you refuse to wear a mask. You're not coming in our house. Like, that you've made us make that decision to keep our kids safe from family because you're not making the safe, smart decisions. Just so over the whole goddamn thing. And now people are taking ivermectin.
Moo. Meow.
What
Bark.
all animals do we give this thing to?
Like farm animals, even just any animal. Like, it's for worm or deworming and other parasitic. It will kill parasites.
Okay, so neither one of us are infectious disease experts, but Allie, is COVID-19 anything like that? Is that
Gosh, I mean, well, if you listen to the scientists, those stupid fuckers, they don't know. Yeah, no, it's not.
no
It's not a parasite.
horses, cows, goats, pigs? Guy says, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. This is your barnyard dewormer animal treatment. I don't even know what to say anymore. The whole thing is just honk that damn horn crazy. Cause like,
Where did they even who came up with the idea that ivermectin was gonna be the thing
right?
And how is that different from taking a fucking vaccine?
See, that's what I'm getting at. If you're one of these people that's like, I'm not gonna get the vaccine, I don't know what's in it. You know what's in this shit?
Yeah.
No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't have a
No.
clue.
No.
No.
It isn't even like it's definitely not approved. Well, it's approved by the FDA for certain things.
Right.
Which,
in very small doses. Right.
And it's not COVID. And
right.
And then it hasn't been, there's no scientific evidence that it actually helps COVID, but they have just jumped on that bandwagon.